Lakisha, I'm just curious, what are some of the challenges that you would name to playfulness, and how might you press past those challenges so that youth actually feel comfortable engaging in play?
Absolutely, thank you. Great question, because there's always challenges, right, for things that you may encounter. I think one major challenge can, of course, be kind of this issue of race and negotiating race and body and gender and all of those things, because everyone doesn't play in the same way, right? So how I might play might be different than my colleague who might be an Asian American or a white male or however, and so that's going to be a little different, especially when we bring our bodies into a space. Sometimes our bodies aren't as appreciated or as seen in some, as a woman of color, I've experienced that in cases where my body's kind of been seen more as an object than anything else, or my curly hair, or all of these issues that affect how our bodies are seen, how we can play with one another, and how we play with each other. And I love this in Dr. Courtney Goto's book, The Grace of Playing. She has this thing that she's created. It's called this local, practical, theological aesthetic. And it's kind of this idea of how we play kind of culturally, like with a cultural community, how we learn. And I think that would be a great way to kind of help push past some of these different body and ethnic challenges, is because we have a community, right, that has this culture of play that can help us and know that, hey, we can also play alike, and we all can also learn how other cultures play as well. But we have kind of this community that holds us and supports us in the way that we might play that might be a little different than someone else and might not give us that same safe enough space. Our bodies might not feel safe. We might not feel safe to engage, but at least kind of in a community that might better understand our play, we get more of that safe enough feel so that maybe we can risk stepping into somewhere else and playing in a different way in our bodies. So that's one thing I definitely think is a challenge, and it's going to continue to be a challenge. Another thing that I think is a challenge are especially issues of power and authority, right? So, who's saying who gets to play? Who's saying that this is a safe enough space? Who are making those kinds of decisions? Who are saying, yes, you can, or yes, no, you can't? And so it's kind of this issue of power that can be played out, but the hope is that you are in this kind of learning space, this kind of counter environment where things like that become decentered and the youth is able to be recentered. So they become the agents. They become the one that say, I can play here and now. I can make this a safe enough space to play. So that empowering and that agency hopefully can be engendered even with the various power dynamics that can happen.